It really has helped me double in size from, we did 250,000 last year, actually 221,000. This year, I'm already at $470,000.
Hi, John. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Not a problem. It's my pleasure, Carrie. So I've been in business 13 years. I started in 2008. The first 10 years I was in business, I was in Portland, Oregon. But I ended up relocating to Las Vegas, Nevada, and I've been in Las Vegas for about 5 years now. So currently we have 4 guys and 2 trucks, but we have are on track to over double in size from last year to this year. And junk removal authority is a huge reason for that.
Good. We like to hear that. And besides junk removal, are there any other industries that you work in?
So we do some power washing. I did quite a bit of that before COVID. I lost over 6 figures in business in power washing because of COVID, but because of the junk removal, our junk removal volume actually went up through COVID. So thanks to that, we were okay going through COVID. I'm now seeing a little bit of pickup in the power washing, but really most of our growth is on the junk removal end of things. I've been working with JRA pretty much all of this year. I had been watching Lee for a couple of years on his YouTube channel and really decided to pull the trigger because it's all the benefits of having a franchise without the negatives of having the franchise. Shane came out and some other owners of junk hauling companies came out to Las Vegas, and I was able to pick their brains and go, hey, does this really work? Everybody has been always told by every company that they're great at SEO. 99% of the time, they're blowing smoke. Being able to talk to about a half a dozen other junk hauling owners and say, yeah, we love it. They're able to deliver on what we promise, really reassured me. And then through my own experience, I've seen the results. I added in the call center. And as a junk hauling owner, that was huge. I was getting 30 calls a day, plus or minus, interrupting my thought pattern and my workflow because I was on the phone with customers. You miss a call from a customer, they're on to the next junk hauling company. Using the call center, picking them up, really getting to where they're answering every single call that comes in has really increased our volume. And then I went to the dedicated rep. I mean, they started this past week. I'm very pleased with it. At a business that's my size, not doing it would I just can't imagine having it for a week and how much it's helped me out. If there's a new service coming out, let me know about it. I want to get on. I'll be the beta tester. I mean, JRA has really helped us. We're planning on opening in Phoenix and Tucson next year. And I'm already talking to the web team and the SEO team about that and just getting the pieces in place. And it's just really helped us as a business. Oh, and Sam, the Mastermind group. If you're a business owner and you're not in a Mastermind group, and to be able to have Sam Schick, the guy that built a $10 million plus a year franchise for Big Blue, I grew up around millionaires and billionaires. I'm a 5th generation business owner. I know a guy that's worth 300 million, and he goes, don't reinvent the wheel, which is great about JRA because you're not reinventing the wheel. For years, I was like, oh, that doesn't work. This doesn't work. And it cost me money. Lee talks about how they wasted $300,000 on AdWords. And so here's a guy that's been through the trenches. My buddy that's worth 300 million said, find what works, duplicate it. Well, here's Sam. Sam built this $10 million franchise, and to be able to have him at a phone call or a text, to meet with him and a group of other business owners once a month on a Zoom call and get that feedback from other people. And Sam, if there was one thing that I could take, if they're like, hey, you could only have one thing from JRA, like one thing, what would it be? To be in that mastermind group. I mean, like I was the first guy to sign up for that. I mean, if you're not jumping on that and the other services JRA has, you're just struggling as a business owner in this industry.
Excellent. I think that's great feedback and advice. And I understand that you did have some third-party companies take a look at both your website and SEO work that JRA does on the site. Can you kind of tell me about that process and who looked at it and what kind of feedback you got from them?
Yeah, so I'm not a huge one on networking groups. I find they're just a big waste of time, but I was invited to one, so I went. It's free. And there was a company there that specializes in social media. And they asked if they could take a look at what I have going on. I'm like, all right. Then I got on a call with them, and they're like, the first thing that came out of their mouth is, we've never had somebody, we did a review that came back where their website was an A+ and their SEO was an A+, and you have both. And so to me, that just meant, hey man, JRA is doing what they promised they would do. Just to get that feedback from them was great. And then my Google rep. So I have an assigned Google rep with Google for my AdWords, because I've spent so much through them and I've been with them so long, that he just did a review of my website and my AdWords and my SEO and everything, because we were just doing some tweaks. And he came back and he's like, man, you got like an A+ on your website and an A+ on your SEO. He's like, it's very rare I talk to a company that's got that locked in. So within a 1 month period to get that feedback from 2 different sources and from Google, I mean, it was incredible to get that from Google. And just made me very pleased that, hey, I've got my money where it needs to be, and JRA is doing what they promised they would do for me. So. Well, just it's a combination of the whole basket of services has really freed up the time for me to focus on working on my business instead of in my business. I used to be the one that was calling customers to say, hey, can we move your appointment up? Can we slide it back? Now the dedicated reps do that. JRA has really taken a lot of the day-to-day operations, which helps automate my business, which helps me get to the point where I can think about, what can I do to grow my business now? We're opening in 2 new markets next year. I've got 4 trucks on order through Specialty Truck Bodies right now, which is part of JRA, with 3 chassis already sitting there. So I've got 1 coming in January and 2 more coming in March, and they're trying to find another chassis for me. But my goal is in 5 years to be $12 million a year, and then in 10 years to be $25 million a year. And we really want to be the junk hauling company in the Southwest here in Utah, Arizona, and Nevada.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I know you have a busy schedule, so thank you so much, John.
You're welcome, Carrie. Thank you for your time, and have a great weekend.